Straight ahead on CCX News, Olympic glory retold in Brooklyn Park. We catch up with former Wayzata swim coach David Plummer. Plus, how you can make dreams come true this prom season. And later, speaking of dreams, meet a young Plymouth woman who's living one. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. We will have those stories in just a moment, but first, a Brooklyn Park man who wasn't allowed to have a gun is now charged in a Brooklyn Center homicide.
Cedric Smith is charged with being a felon in possession of a gun. According to the charges, Smith and his girlfriend, 18-year-old Allie Campbell of St. Cloud, went to the Quality Inn Motel 2 weeks ago to buy marijuana. During the visit, the two were wrestling over a gun when it accidentally went off. Campbell was killed. The suspect, Cedric Smith, was previously convicted of beating another man with a tire iron in Brooklyn Park.
At the state capitol, a bill to bring Minnesota in compliance with the federal Real ID law has passed the House. It faces an uncertain future, however, in the Senate. Republican Dennis Smith of Maple Grove was the House bill's chief author, and Smith says a Real ID bill must be signed into law this year or Minnesotans would need a passport instead of a simple driver's license to board an airplane next year. Real ID was put into place to tighten security at airports. It failed to gain traction in previous years because some lawmakers felt it was government overreach.
Weaver Lake Elementary is trying something new to increase recycling. The school received a $12,000 grant from Hennepin County to buy a sorting table. It allows students to throw away waste using color-coded bins. Red is for trash, blue is for milk cartons and other plastic containers, and green is for organics. Since the program started this school year, officials have seen a huge reduction in waste.
5 bags down to 1. We reduced our waste by 80% in the cafeteria alone. And then in addition to that, we're also recycling the brown paper towels in the restrooms, and that's another about 6 bags of what used to be trash is now being composted each day.
So far, Weaver Lake Elementary is the only school in the Osseo district to use the sorting table. At area high schools, the upcoming spring season means prom season.
And prom can cost an average of $700, but it doesn't have to. That's thanks to an effort that helps girls find a beautiful dress for free.
It was a great night to just let loose and live in the moment.
17-year-old Hannah Tauchi felt like a princess when she went to prom.
The dress that I wore, I felt was kind of Cinderella, Elsa inspired. It was blue and it had like ice crystals down the front, and it had like a little sweetheart neckline, so it was very princessy and ball gowny and just very fun and flirty.
Hannah's dress also cost absolutely nothing.
When I told my friends that I got my dress for free, they were astounded and so jealous because prom dresses are very expensive.
You've got nice little black slinky when you want a good old pop of color. Really everything, short, long.
10 years ago, Jenny Asaba started Project Prom with the idea that anyone who wants to go to prom should have the opportunity.
For us, that means taking away the biggest parts associated with prom, which is the cost of a dress. So a girl can come in and pick one out and get it totally for free. Project
Prom relies on donations. Robbinsdale Salon Halo is one of several sites where dresses can be dropped off.
A lot of people are, oh, I do have my prom dress, or I was in a wedding last summer and I have a great bridesmaid dress to bring in that they're not going to wear again. And this is the first year we're an official nonprofit, so we will take any donation we can get to make that day special.
It was a great way to get a beautiful dress.
Hannah Tauchi is proud her prom had a fairy tale feel without a royal price.
I spent a total of $120 on dinner, flowers, photos, and my shoes and jewelry.
If you have a dress you'd like to donate, there are drop-off sites in Robbinsdale, Plymouth, and Maple Grove until March 15th. And for more information, you can visit projectprom.us.
A who's who of Twin Cities celebrities were in Brooklyn Park today for the 11th annual Gutter Bowl. Among them, Minnesota Vikings receiver Adam Thielen and Gopher football coach PJ Fleck. The charity event at the Brunswick Zone benefits Boulder Options, which helps at-risk youth. Between 200 and 300 bowlers showed up. They expect to raise between $45,000 and $50,000.
Well, I've been part of it for the entire 11 years. I've been part of it for the entire 11 years, and it's just been fun for the beginning, but the last 2 years we've been the benefiting organization, so it is a significant infusion of capital, number one, and also awareness to raise money and find more people that want to be involved in the lives of young people.
CCX News reporter Eric Nelson was at the event too.
And he caught up with one of the local celebrities. Many swimmers may recognize him.
We are here at the Gutter Bowl in Brooklyn Park, and we bumped into an Olympic medalist. Joining us now, David Plummer, former swimming coach at Wayzata, and you're out here trying out some bowling today, aren't you?
Yeah, doing my best, yeah.
How do you like it?
It's been great. It's been great. A really great event, you know, put on for the kids. So it's been a lot of fun to just be out here and enjoying a Friday morning bowl.
Yeah, and a good cause. Boulder Options is such a tremendous charity in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, anybody that's taken the time to really work with at-risk youth is something worth coming out here for.
All right, you had a very eventful 2016. You were down at the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, bronze in the 100-meter backstroke, also part of the gold 4x100 relay team. That had to be an incredible experience.
Absolutely, it really, really was. Just a dream come true for me, and the whole U.S. swim team did really, really well. We had a great year, so it was amazing to be a part of, and you know, just loved every minute of it.
Yeah, and your story's a great one. It's one of perseverance. You kept battling, and good things happened.
Yeah. It took some time. I like to say that, you know, a lot of people use the word determination, but I like to think that I'm just a slow learner. You know, it took a long time to get there, but definitely worth the effort.
Final thought: you're no longer at Wayzata, but now you're working at the U of M.
Yeah, it's been great. So I work with the sport administrators, helping out wherever I can. It's been fun to see the other side of things.
All right, thank you, David.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, David Plummer, who used to be the swimming coach at Wayzata, now doing good work for the Gophers.
All right, thanks, Eric. Coming up, turning down college to chase a dream.
We hear a young Plymouth woman's story up next. And then later in sports, highlights from a big boys basketball matchup between Champlin Park and De La Salle.
But first, an uneventful weather weekend with temperatures in the 30s. We'll be right back. This next story is one you might see in the movies or even read in a novel.
But it is actually happening to an 18-year-old artist from Plymouth. Julia Brennan had moved into a dorm at the University of Minnesota, but a day before classes began, she left to chase a career in music. It didn't take her long to catch it.
They say don't let them in.
18-year-old Julia Brennan credits her remarkable entry into the music world with a broken collarbone that kept her at home this summer.
After I broke my collarbone, I was like bored out of my mind.
So she decided to do something she had been putting off. Julia released 3 songs she had written and recorded months before on iTunes. Then she fired off an email to a radio station.
I sent it in to KDWB's Make My Monday. And, you know, sent in a request saying, you know, it'd make my Monday if you could play my song.
A few days later, they made her Monday and much more.
And I didn't know I was going to be on air, but I was. I didn't know they were going to play 60 seconds of my song, but they did. And it was so odd how it happened, but it was just so cool at the same time.
The song Inner Demons shot up the iTunes charts, and record labels took notice.
Everything happened so unbelievably fast because I got 60 seconds on the Monday, and by Tuesday and Wednesday I had emails from 3 different labels.
On her parents' advice, Julia decided to defer enrollment in college and try her hand at music.
I'd never been to New York City, and let alone met with a record label, and so they flew me to New York City for the first time. I went to an Adele concert, and then the next day I signed, and it was like the most exciting New York City moment ever, which was awesome.
The radio station followed up too.
So she sent us a demo. She's 18 years old. She's local. She's from Plymouth, Minnesota.
Singing at the state fair was the first time Julia had ever performed her song in front of a crowd. Julia signed with Columbia Records. She's learning the ropes while writing, recording, and hoping to release her debut album this year.
As cliche as it sounds, I just want to be happy with what I do, and I want this to just be a positive thing in my life.
So angels, please just keep on fighting.
And music runs in Julia's family too. Her grandmother was Miss Minnesota 1951, and her mom was a wedding singer. And of course, you can download 3 of Julia's songs on iTunes. Stay tuned, Alex, for much more.
Unbelievable, yeah, so quickly.
Very neat, and thank you to Mountain Mud Cafe who let us in there to shoot that interview that
To
was
do
really
the
nice of
interview.
him
That's
as
great.
well. So good things happening for Julia. Coming up, a musical of biblical proportions in Maple Grove.
But first, we have Section Boys hockey highlights as Wayzata meets Armstrong-Cooper. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. It's playoff time in boys hockey. Wayzata, last year's state Class AA champion, had a difficult regular season. The Trojans hope to put it together in a playoff run in a weaker than usual Section 6 AA field. They face Northwest Suburban West champion Armstrong-Cooper in the quarterfinals. Wayzata's Colin Kabinski passes to Colin Schmidt. He's stopped by Ethan Marsh. Marsh has a big game, 22 saves in the first 2 periods. For Marsh, keeps this one a scoreless game. But the Trojans, who controlled play all night, break through in the third. Alex Salle scores on the nice pass from Ike Tarazuski for his first goal of the season, and it's 1-0. Then Logan Lindstrand from the boards shoots through traffic. He nets his first goal of the season, and that makes it 2-0 with 7 minutes to play. 3 minutes later, Grant Anderson tees up a big slap shot and beats Marsh to extend the lead to 3-0. Salle would add his second of the night later as the Trojans win 4-0 to advance to the semifinals. Also in Section 6 AA, Hopkins falls to top seed Edina 6-0, while Benilde loses 5-3 to St. Louis Park. That sets up Saturday's semifinals. Park plays Edina at 7 p.m. in Bloomington. Wayzata takes on second seed Cretin-Derham Hall at 4 o'clock in Edina. In Section 5 AA, Champlin Park faced a big rival in the quarterfinals. The Rebels meeting Anoka in the 4-versus-5 game. Second period, Rebels down 1-0 in Coltis on the doorstep. A shot off the post. Third period, Derek Roberts breaks in for CP. And he hits iron as well. Rebels get another great chance. Jack Cargus will hit the post again. Rebels unable to put anything in, and moments later, Jack Giddings weaves through the defense and scores what turns out to be an insurance goal for the Tornadoes. They win it over Champlin Park 2-0. In other quarterfinal games in 5 AA, top seed Centennial breezes past Osseo 7-0. Number 2 seed Maple Grove has no problem with Spring Lake Park. The semifinals are Saturday at the Champlin Ice Forum. Anoka plays Centennial at 3 o'clock. Blaine and Maple Grove face off at 7 o'clock. In boys basketball, the top-ranked team in Class 4A met the number 1 team in Class 3A. An overflow crowd as Champlin Park hosted De La Salle. 2 of the state's top big men going head-to-head. Gonard Marr with a driving layup for De La Salle. The Rebels' Theo John catches the alley-oop from McKinley Wright for the jam as John reaches 1,000 career points. But Wright is the star of the show. He hits threes on 3 consecutive possessions in the first half. And he does the tough work, too. Wright rebounds and scores, plus a foul. He scores 26 points in the first half. Brian Smith challenges the big guys to score, +1. The Rebels go up by 17. They'd lead 48-35 at the half. Wright cools down some, but still reaches a career high and a school record 46 points in this one. The Islanders storm back, though. Gabe Kauscher drives for 2 of his 22 points, and they do get as close as 6. But Champlin Park never gives up the lead. The Rebels win 87-77 on a huge night for Wright.
46 points is unbelievable. I tried not to pay too much attention to it until my teammates told me I broke the school record. So, I mean, that was a great feeling, but it was a better feeling to come out with the win.
The state high school gymnastics meet is this weekend. One local coach has received a special honor. The state gymnastics banquet took place in St. Paul on Thursday evening, recognizing this year's state competitors, and also honored longtime Park Center coach Bruce Smith. Smith started coaching boys gymnastics at Brooklyn Center High School in 1970 and has coached girls gymnastics at Park Center since 1990. He was inducted into the Coaches Association Hall of Fame on Thursday. Bruce says it's a big honor and certainly not one he had given much thought to.
I just don't fit the stereotype of, you know, a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, they usually have phenomenal records and accolades and plaques all over the place. We don't. This is really huge. I've never thought in gymnastics, you know, when you're young, you know, I'm a football guy, and I thought that's where I would go. And here I am 47 years later, still coaching gymnastics. And it's big. It's big for everybody around me and the family and the whole team and the school. I mean, this says something about Park Center Gymnastics, I think.
Smith has two gymnasts who will compete in the state Class AA individual meet Saturday night. Pirates senior Maddie Clausen and junior Haley Illy. Congratulations to Coach Smith. Big weekend ahead with state gymnastics and girls hockey, plus section competition in wrestling, boys swimming, and boys hockey. Shannon, Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a modern take on a legendary musical.
We preview Godspell next in Weekend Showcase.
And finally, a revival of the popular musical Godspell.
Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
Godspell is the story of Jesus as told basically in the Gospel of Matthew, with a few additions from some of the other Gospels.
And these 10 actors put on a very colorful contemporary rendition of the play.
But more than that, it is the story of building community.
Jared Mogan begins the play as John the Baptist and then shifts into the character of Judas.
One of my favorite things about Godspell as a show is it is a true ensemble show. And so other than Jesus, there isn't really a character who has more important things to do or more important things to say than the others. So everybody has their own solos, everybody has their own lead parts and scenes, and so we all really get to share in this experience of the show together.
What if you are bringing a gift to the altar, and suddenly you realize your brother has a grievance against you? No. Leave your gift where it is. Leave it. First, go and make peace with your brother.
Cindy Scheffler plays Lindsay, one of Jesus' disciples.
It talks about the Gospels and the stories of the Gospels, the parables, in such a fun manner and such a fun way that it's appealing to all ages. And the music is fantastic.
It certainly is, and I give the show a rating of J for joyful. For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, CCX News.
Godspell is tonight and Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 2 at Crosswinds United Methodist Church in Maple Grove. Attendees are encouraged to bring a non-perishable food donation if they come. That looks like fun.
It does.
Very much so. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend.